It's the 6th of December, 2022. My life is now. I'm not studying or doing anything. As I see my future next year, it's not looking so bright. My end goal is to become a successful entrepreneur. So would I rather take that risk right now when I don't have much to lose, or be comfortable for the rest of my life? The choice is clear. What's the worst that can happen?
2016, the most happy year of my life. I was 13 years old in my final year of intermediate, elementary for Americans, yeah? And one day, my class and I were playing a particular sport, and it was called kickball. Pretty much it was like baseball, but with our feet. My teacher made it up, and a kid from the enemy team kicks the ball so quickly that there was no way anybody was gonna actually catch the ball. Except somebody did, and it was me. I caught it with one hand, and immediately everybody jumps on top of me in just pure joy. My friends are all around me calling me the man, my teachers are cheering me on, my teacher was proud of me, my crush is impressed of me, bro. And in that moment of me getting bombarded with all of this social feeling of just feeling loved, it just hit me how much I really enjoy school. This was the peak school experience. And when I go home, I play my favorite game on the PlayStation 4 that just came out. I don't know, it was called Overwatch. It was the happiest time of my life. This intermediate school I was going to was built in 2012, 4 years ago, meaning there wasn't many children attending this school with me. But it was perfect, because it was the tightest I've ever felt to a community in my life. Because back at home, I had this very strict father, and my dad would make me work in his small little business since I was 7 years old, or some small age like that. And I hated this with all my heart. There'd be days where I'm just out in the grueling hot sun. My skin is burning. I'd literally get so black. And that's not even a joke, it's not even meant to be funny. I would get tanned so badly that people at my school would make fun of me. They'd say I look like fucking Michael Jackson, bro. But it wasn't necessarily because of the work itself. Honestly, that just made me feel this immense feeling of sadness and sorrow at home. It never felt like my dad had that love for me. Yeah, it was all just about work for him. And you can say that, yeah, he was disciplining me. That's what a good father does, 100%. But my dad disciplining me without really adding any love to that either, it just made me resent him. I'll be honest with you, I hated him for a long time. And I always just kept wondering, like, why can't I have a normal life? Why can't I live a normal childhood? Why do I have to do this hard, grueling work in the weekends when all my friends can, socialize with each other, play sports? Why have I been given this life? And so here I am, having to kind of suppress my own desires and my emotions, not really understanding how to navigate that properly, and just kept all of my thoughts to myself. Which is exactly why I love intermediate school so much. It's an escape from my life at home. I mean, bro, for the first time in my life, I enjoy playing sports. I enjoy doing this boyish stuff. I enjoy getting tackled on the fucking the grass, in the rain, playing in the mud. I enjoy doing this shit, bro. But at home, I'm just this quiet, ugly little boy. Because at home, I'm known as a very unambitious kid. My parents asked me what I wanted to be growing up, and I told them I wanted to be a McDonald's worker. I had zero ambition. Nothing wrong with McDonald's workers, but if your main goal is to be a McDonald's worker, usually children, they aim high, right? Something went fucking wrong with my brain. I had so much ambition at school that I even ended up winning an award at the end of the year. I came first in high jump, and to me that meant a lot. Even though there wasn't much competition, let's be real, there was only like 5 of us in the year group. It meant something to me. It did. because I wasn't really the type to win awards much. I felt loved. I felt desired here. And so I actually tried. However, as happy as this year was, there was this demon at the back of my mind that was just running rampant throughout this year that I could not shake off this feeling. Because one day, Mom would tell me something that would break my heart. Manish, after you graduate this year, we are moving towns. And my heart just drops. And I end up falling in a pretty deep depression because of this. Because I'm going to lose my community. All the friends that I made. The connections that I built. The girl that I had a crush on that was living in my head rent-free. And you're saying I'm never going to see her again? And I'm just nagging my mom so much. I'm being such an annoying nuisance to my mom. Mom, please, 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 like, have me go to school closer by. Until she snaps at me and tells me, Manish, shut up. You're here to study and nothing else. And hearing my mom kind of snap at me, she doesn't usually snap at me, it really stung. Because I do love my mom. So pretty much me as a 13-year-old, I have to accept that I'm going to lose practically 90% of where my happiness is coming from. That was something that just wasn't really sitting right with me at all. And so 2017 happens, and we end up moving to an area, a lot more of a rough and rowdy area. And it's my first ever day of high school, public high school, because I went to a private school before this. That was a private school. This is a public school, which has 10 times the amount of students. It's literally 10 times bigger, if not even more. And I literally witnessed a brutal fight on the first ever day between these two big, like island big guys, right? Literally in front of my eyes. It was brutal. And me being the skinny, kid I am, I get scared. This is scary. I immediately feel like I'm, below. And throughout the months, I end up making a few friends, but honestly, it's nothing like intermediate. All that status, all that connection, the community it's gone. It's not the same here. Even if the school was 10 times bigger, 10 times the amount of students, it feels 10 times more shallow. It just was not the same. I'm now no longer sporty, just shy. I can't speak to women. I can't do this thing. I can't do the things that I used to do. And I start developing this massive insecurity of my appearance, my looks. I feel very outcasted. So I don't really open up to anyone about my life at home with my dad or like the loneliness, And now I'm known as the most socially introverted kid in my year group. The most quiet kid in class. And so what does a person do when they feel like they're lacking something in their hearts? Because I sure was. I try to fill that void. And so I turn to things like adult content. I'd watch a lot of adult content to fill that void of intimacy that I was feeling. And also video games. Video games for the status, the brotherhood, the connection, the feeling of progression, right? And so, get this. I start devoting my life to a single cause. Can you guess what that is? Well, I told myself I will reach top 500 in Overwatch. Pretty much the highest rank you could get. This was my new life course. Because this game was the only thing that was giving me any feeling of progression, any feeling of status. This game was doing it for me. It wasn't real life, it was this game. I devoted my life to this cause. I will get this top rank no matter what. And so throughout my months of grinding this game, pretty much I'd come home, the only thing I would do is grind Overwatch. I wouldn't study, I obviously wasn't exercising at the time. I wasn't doing anything else except just playing this game, grinding the crap out of it. I end up meeting 2 other people, right, on this game. and just like through the matches and stuff. And these guys were good. They seemed chill, and so I hopped in a party with them, and we started playing together, right? And so this was my new team that I was kind of playing my games with, my 3-stack for the gamers out there. We're cracking jokes with each other, we're laughing at each other. Even if it was just online, it's nice having some people by my side again. And so I'd be grinding with these guys. And eventually I would get so good at Overwatch that I would end up reaching that rank, top 500, in all of New Zealand and Australia combined. But despite reaching this rank, it still felt like there was something empty inside me. And I didn't really understand what that was. Until one day, when I end up meeting a particular girl on Overwatch. I was versing this girl on the enemy team. I end up winning the match, and she ends up texting me on PlayStation messages, telling me that I was really good. And so I just start to think that this girl probably is just texting me just because she wants me to like carry her. Pretty much like she wants me to do all the work for her so that she ranks up as well. And so I'm like, fuck it, why not? Let's just play with this girl a few competitive games. And so we start playing together. And so we'd be chatting now. And I soon realized that this girl isn't actually that fake. In fact, she's quite cool. And I'm like, wow, okay. And to make things even crazier, for a few days we were gaming, and I start to form a bit of a connection with this girl until she gives me her Instagram. And my heart just drops. I'm not one to pedestalize women, at least not anymore. But let me just tell you, this girl was out of my league. She was definitely a little bit too pretty for me, if I'm being honest. The fact that I looked like this and she was taking an interest in me, God was on my side. And slowly we'd start talking a little bit outside of Overwatch as well. We'd naturally just start talking on Instagram messages now. And bro, at this point, I mean, we're both 15. It's a little bit silly, but honestly, the amount of adult content I would watch is becoming less and less and less and less whilst I'm speaking to this woman, right? And also, honestly, at this point, I don't even feel like gaming much anymore. I don't even feel like playing the video game that I loved so much anymore. I would rather just talk to this girl that I genuinely love talking to, because she's giving me a connection that I've never really had. She's making me feel loved, desired, wanted, the same exact way I felt back in intermediate school. So I don't have a desire, a need to overindulge myself in these things anymore. And you know what's the craziest part here? She lived 10 minutes away from me. She could have lived in another country, in Australia or some crazy country, but she lives in my country, New Zealand. Nobody lives here, and 10 minutes away from me. What the fuck? Crazy part. I can't believe this shit, right? Dream come true. And so guess what happens? I use my time to speak to this woman, right? Instead of playing the game with my 2 other friends that usually I would play with. And they start to notice that I'm getting a little bit colder towards them, a little bit more ghosting-like, right? Oh, bro, I can't play right now. I just gotta, I gotta talk with this girl, right? And eventually, we connect so much to the point where she actually ends up asking me to watch a movie with her in the cinemas. She wants to meet up with me. I think we wanted to watch Ready Player One, yeah? And everything was going so good. It felt like I was actually making some progress in life. Now, I started to feel more productive, my energy was higher, everything was going great. I was focusing so much more in school now as well, being more social. My friends can tell that I'm in a better mood, right? Until one day, a few days before we end up meeting up for the first time, I end up joining my 2 friends that I kind of abandoned a little bit in their PlayStation party. And I tell these guys, bros, you're not gonna believe this. On Wednesday, I'm gonna go meet up with her, right? And guess what they say? Bro, don't do that. I know what she did. She's done this with that guy. She's done this with so many guys, right? These jealous motherfuckers stalked her Instagram or something, right? And did not want me to meet up with her. Even though they knew who she was, it's a tight community, but they didn't know her like how I knew her, right? They were just chatting all this shit because they were jealous. And the worst part is I believed them. I was a naive 15-year-old and I believed them, bro. And so what I do is I start ghosting her a little bit. I start being ignorant. I start ignoring her texts. I start doing this stupid shit, bro. Until maybe like a few weeks go past and she tells me to fuck off. Straight up texts me just fuck off. And me being the ignorant 15-year-old, I'm like, who cares? My friends are right anyways. She's just whatever. Like I'm better than her, or whatever, right? Even though she never did anything wrong. She never did anything wrong, right? And it doesn't really hit me how bad of a mistake I made, and until a few years later. But we'll get to that, because now that she's gone again, I start to get addicted to adult content. I start to really grind the video games again. I start to fill my time with these things, running away from what really, like, the main issue that I needed solving. It was a way to run away without really realizing it. And one night, it's late, 2 a.m. on a Friday, or I guess technically Saturday, and I have to get up early the next day to work for my dad. Early, because my dad makes me work on the weekends, right? And I just did not want to do that at all. I was dreading it so much, to the point where I would rather stay up and grind Overwatch and just not think about it and jeopardize my sleep for the next day. That's how bad it was, right? And so I'm slamming my keyboard and mouse so hard, just, trying to win my game. And get this, my parents' room is right next to my room. My dad is sleeping right next to me. And so I'm yelling in the microphone. I'm like, fucking get him. He's right there. When all of a sudden I hear my dad open my door, and he has the most disgusted look on his face, the most angriest face he's ever had on me. And he slaps me right across the face, just like that, and says, I'm going to destroy your PC. I'm going to literally, smash your PC if you don't stop gaming. And, I got very scared, obviously, and I remember crying myself to sleep that night. Not necessarily because of what my father had said, but more so because of the feeling that I got when he said that. I realized that those words, I'm going to smash your PC if you don't stop, your gaming addiction or whatever. I realized those words held so much value to me, because I realized I was nothing without video games. My value was in video games. That was my worth. That was my sense of self. That was the only sense of self I had. It was through video games, and my dad threatened to take that away from me. It sounds like a whole bunch of rubbish, but this was genuinely my life. And my dad threatened to take that away from me. And then the next day happens, and I just have this profound sense of loneliness and emptiness, knowing that my worth only comes from video games and nothing else. And now I don't even have the girl to fall back on, either to comfort me. And this is where my addictions start getting worse and worse and worse. Start watching adult content, 2-3 times a day. Gaming even more for the next 2-3 years. 2019, 2020 happens, 2021. I'll be honest, bro, like, you want me to say something spectacular that happened in these 3 years? No, nothing did. I stayed the exact same boy on the inside. I didn't improve myself one bit. In fact, I became 50 times worse. I grew on the outside, but not one piece on the inside. And 2021 was probably one of the worst periods of my life. Because this one very lonely night, I'm on my PC, playing this game called Dark Souls 3. Goated franchise, by the way. I end up getting a random thought of the girl that I used to play with 3 years ago. And I do something I should not do. That's worse than, at all constant, worse than anything. I decide that I'm going to check my old Instagram DMs with her. The sense of emptiness that I got from just scrolling these messages, just seeing all the intimacy that we had together, that I haven't really had from anyone in the past 3 years. That's what hit me the most. And it just hit me now, 3 years later, that I had fucked up. And so I end up doing something even worse now. And I end up finding her Facebook account. And I'm like, I'm gonna text her. Maybe she might take me back. And so I text her. How you doing? It's been a while. It's me. The guy that you used to play games with. Remember? Just to get left unseen. This hit me bad. This was devastating to me. And this event with this girl, alongside a few other events with some other girls, I've told these stories in some other videos, but pretty much I didn't have very good experiences with women this year, 2021. And this just got me to ask the question to myself, just genuinely, for the first time in my life. Would my dream wife, she's out there, somewhere in the world, would she be proud of the actions that I'm taking today? Would she be proud of me gooning 24/7? All I do with my time is play video games. I don't have a sense of self. Would she be proud of the person that I am, of the actions that I'm taking today? I asked myself that genuine question, and that was a no. That was the moment I knew I had to change. And so there's this guy who, at this time, I pretty much hopped on Discord calls with him every single night. And we would watch anime, shows and like movies and stuff. Great guy. I don't have anything bad to say about him. I had this massive passion of watching shows with a very good story. I was a sucker for a good story. I told myself if I wanted to leave this life of mine behind, if I wanted to really make a change, I need to leave everything behind. And so I had to ghost him. I had to say goodbye without really telling him why, which wasn't the best decision. And I'll get to that soon. And so this is where I start taking care of myself. I start going to the gym. I'm working out hard. I'm eating healthier. Taking care of my appearance now, doing things that I would never have done, and I would actually end up making some pretty good progress, I'd say. However, bro, when I graduated high school, I'm just feeling super confused, concerned, just worried. You know why? Because I have no idea what I want to do with my life. And guess what? Guess what makes it worse? My dad tells me this. Manish, you have two choices. My dad didn't give me any freedom here. Number one, you come work with me in my business. Number two, you study engineering. Those are my two choices. Now, me hating work so bad, I chose the degree. I didn't want to work with my dad so badly that I would rather study something that I had no interest in whatsoever, which would end up being one of the most fucked mistakes of my life. Because now it's 2022, and I'm studying this foundation year to get into the degree itself because I couldn't qualify because I wasn't smart enough, because I had no interest in it. And then the next year happens, 2023. I didn't do engineering, but I did construction management, which is like the people who weren't brainy enough to get into engineering go into construction management. That was me. I was waking up every day feeling this feeling of just the same feeling I had when I was working with my father, the feeling of just not feeling like this was what I am meant to do. I can't even study properly. I just don't, I have no interest in this, right? I'm nearly finished my first year of construction management, and I'm kind of going through this lonely stage of life. Even though I have improved my life quite a bit, I still don't really have any real friends, any genuine connections, you know? So when I was working one day, I ended up getting in a pretty bad fight with my dad. It wasn't really a proper fight or anything, but it got, you know, for the first time in my life, I got genuinely angry, and for the first time in my life I genuinely felt like hurting a person. And I was known as this calm, you know, gentle guy, but that's how much all this pent up resentment towards my dad had me at. That was the moment where I realized that I have for all my life been a victim to my own circumstances. I let adult content control me. I let video games dictate my life. I let my father fucking puppeteer my life. Was I really just going to let the world dictate my life and not myself? And that was the moment where I knew I needed to take life on my own hands and do something about this, because there's no way I'm going to live a good life, at least a happy life, this way. I want to live a life with no regrets. And I'll do whatever it takes. And so, I end up making probably the scariest decision of my life. I'm gonna drop out of university without telling my dad. This is new for me. This was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And I remember telling my mom about this. Mom, I'm gonna drop out of university and I'm going to pursue social media. And my mom's been on my side about all this stuff. My mom's been helping me with my dad and stuff, because my mom knows how much, you know, but when I told my mom that, the look on her face, she didn't seem very faithful in me. She didn't seem like she believed me that I could actually do it. And I don't blame my mom at all for this. You know, it's just a mom's nature to kind of be worried about your child that's going on a deviating path. But that didn't really help me, because that didn't help me feel very assured in what I was doing. In fact, that just made me feel like I was going down a very bad choice. And so now it's 2024, and I'm waking up every single day scared for my life. Genuinely, the amount of stress that I have when waking up each and every day is on another level. Because if I don't make it in 1 or, if I'm lucky, 2 years, I don't know what my dad's gonna do to me, bro. I mean, for fucking lying to his face every single day, for creating these fake calendars on the university app, showing him that I have class, for faking my grades, for photoshopping my grades, bro. For telling him that I'm going to study at the library, but in reality I'm in my car recording videos. I was doing this shit every single day. That feeling of just dread I had, unknowing dread, it was bad. What was I even hoping to achieve here? Honestly, I have no idea. I just wanted to become a YouTuber, but I wasn't really sure how to go about it properly just yet. I knew that if I just put my head down and I didn't think about what could happen, I didn't think about it. I'm just gonna put my head down and just work every single day. Just don't worry about it, because I knew everything will sort itself out either way. So I just put my head down and I worked the hardest I could possibly work every single day. However, maybe 3 months go past, 4 months go past, and I only end up gaining maybe like a couple hundred subscribers at most. At this point, it truly feels like I have made a very bad mistake. My dad was right. My mom was right. I really am. I can't do this. Maybe I should have just stayed in school. I fucked up. I really did. And to make things even worse, I remember this one day. I was at the gym. And I was talking to this girl who I kind of talk to every now and then. I don't really know who she is on a personal level, but I would talk to her sometimes. And this one night I was feeling really down about this, like really depressed. And so I wanted some comfort. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna spill all my vulnerabilities to this girl right in front of me. So, you know, I dropped out of uni to pursue this social media stuff, and it hasn't been really going that well. I was kind of hoping that she would comfort me, but she ends up laughing at me. Because she was working she was like the same age as me, working a job, making a lot more money than I was. I wasn't making any money. I couldn't really say anything back. I mean, what could I say? And so I just like laughed back. I was like, yeah, I know. It was stupid of me, I know, but I was hurting on the inside because that hurt me so much. So much, bro. However, there was one thing that kept me going. And it was the fact that I was gaining a few subscribers every single day. Maybe one, maybe two, if I'm lucky. And it was the sparse comments that I would get every now and then of how my advice was helping people, helping you guys. That was the thin enough thread that was hanging me off of this ledge. And I just had a random thought. You know, back then when I used to talk with my friend on Discord and we would watch all these movies and shows and anime together, I genuinely love stories so much. Like, I have such a deep passion for a good story. This shit would live rent-free in my head. And I actually thought about kind of checking up on my friend at this point, but I don't end up doing that. And I'll get to why this is important very soon. But I'm like, I've got stories to tell. I've been through some shit. I've been through some crazy shit with, you know, like I've got stories to tell that have built my character. Why don't I kind of merge the stories with life advice? Why don't I just tell stories about my life? This way just makes it authentic. And honestly, at this point, I just want to spread love to people. You know what I mean? Like the love that my younger self never received. Because I knew that if he had videos like this when he was at his lowest points, it would have made his day. Because I knew I had a genuine passion for what this is, right? So even if it doesn't end up working out, as long as it helps somebody, I'm okay with that. And I kid you not, bro, after just trying this for one video, it blows up. 1 subscriber turns into 10 subscribers, turns into 100 subscribers. And this was so surreal for me because it all just happened out of nowhere. And this is when my channel on YouTube got monetized and I started earning a little bit of money now. It wasn't that much. It was just a little bit, but it was something. For the first time in my entire life, I was earning money, bro, because my dad never paid me, right? So this was very, very awesome for me. And but more importantly than the money, I gained purpose. I was seeing all these comments of how I was helping you guys. And I gained a purpose for myself that I had never had before. The same type of feeling that I had when I was grinding for top 500 in Overwatch, that exact same feeling. Except this time it doesn't feel fake. It feels like I'm progressing towards something that's actually like meaningful. My mission in this moment became so clear. Spread love. And so I went harder every single day, grinding this shit, getting better at editing, scripting, recording, everything, right? Until one day, I think it was the start of this year, 2025, I have a video blow the heck up. It went extremely viral. And this video is what blew up my channel. And at this point, I started earning nearly enough for like a normal job, bro. This was the moment where I just said fuck you to the girl that doubted me, that laughed at me. I don't even know how I'm here. I genuinely don't know why you guys even watch my videos. All I'm doing is just talking to a camera. It's nothing special at all. Yet you guys are here, and I just want to say thank you. But bro, I just now have a love, an admiration, a respect for myself that I never really had before. I can now safely look at myself in the mirror and say that I have put in the hard work and that my hard work has paid off. And I could never say that ever in my life. I could never have said that. When my mom looks at my face now, she doesn't see a lustful, unambitious child anymore. She sees a man with purpose. I made my mom proud. And that's what matters the most at the end of the day. At least I hope so. And look, dude, I don't want you to think about... I don't want you to think that I figured it all out. I don't even want you to take all of my advice. Because the truth is, I don't know everything. Obviously I don't. Obviously I fucking don't, but like, I'm not like the other influencers. I don't have all the status, all the money, all the fame, the whatever, right? I mean, look, I'm in a Toyota. It's my Toyota. Right? I'm not anyone special, so... But what I can tell you, bro, is something very important, that if you are going to take something away from this video, please make it be this. Remember my friend on Discord that I would watch stories and movies with? Not too long ago, I decided to check up on him. And I ended up messaging him. And he tells me that he's in a mental hospital now. It's been 3-4 years since I stopped talking to him, and that's where he is now. But this had put something into perspective for me. Your life can change so quickly. In either direction. Good or bad. I'm not saying that it was video games or like, you know, watching too many shows or movies that made him go down this path. I'm not saying that at all. But I just pray for him, that he'll be fine. Help me pray for him as well. I hope my story has inspired you to... Or at least you could find some entertainment out of this, but I do hope that it inspired you in some way. Because the truth is, if I can do it, then why can't you? I'm not anyone special. I was the most unambitious child ever. I wanted to be a McDonald's worker. This was my story. Obviously, there's a lot missing out. There's a lot I didn't go into detail with. This was the general foundation of what had built my character and who I am and why I am the person that I am today. Your life can change so quickly, my friend. You're not going to get everything right straight away. There's going to be so many downs. But as long as you live a life with no regrets, in my opinion, you're doing really well. Because I don't regret making a single decision I have ever made. Take that away from me, okay? Much love, bro. Why did I end up doing that whole thing again?